Every now and then a bike comes along that just gets it right. Maybe when you look at the spec sheet nothing jumps out at you necessarily, but the finished product is more than the sum of its parts, and its parts joined together just so in a package that's hard to beat. In 1999 the Suzuki SV650 was just such a motorcycle. It was priced very reasonably and combined lightweight with a torquey V-twin engine which was accessible to the novice, powerful enough to entertain the experienced rider, and made wheelies and twisty roads a joy. That old SV became a classic and spawned a new class of motorcycles, the 650 class. Other manufacturers saw riders flocking to it and motor journalists singing its praises and jumped on board. Here's the formula. A naked bike with a 70-ish horsepower twin-cylinder engine, plenty of torque, lightweight, basic suspension, and affordable price. Bingo! You have a bike for everyone. Want to ride a highway? It's fast enough that it's no effort. Twisty road? It's light and flickable enough to make it fun. Commuting? It's perfect for slicing through city traffic. Touring? You could do it. The upright riding position is comfy enough to ride long distance. Track day? No problem. It's sporty enough. Just about the only thing it's not great at is off-roading, but it will tackle a gravel or dirt road no problem. So the SV650 is still around, as is the Kawasaki Z650. Honda did things its own way and made a 4-cylinder 650 which is more pricey than the twin-cylinder bikes, and Triumph came in with a 3-cylinder Trident just this year and raised the stakes by throwing in some electronics. I know that folks will pipe in with the Aprilia 660 Tuono, which raises the stakes in the electronics and suspension department, but price-wise that bike is up with the 900cc naked, so I'd put it in a different class. But this class has a definite king, and it's not the SV650 anymore. The #1 bestseller of all these bikes is the Yamaha MT07, and it has taken the SV650's successful formula and improved upon it. I had the new for 2021 model for a week, and my wife Brooke and I rode it for over 1,300 kilometers, so we've gotten a good idea of what it's like to live with this bike long term. Stay tuned for a full review of the king of the class, and if you find this valuable, consider hitting that subscribe button and liking the video to help out the channel. The MT07, which was originally conceived in 2014 as the FZ07, is really good at keeping it simple. You won't find any engine modes here, no fancy traction control or lean sensitive anything, no color TFT, phone connectivity or quick shifters. 2 wheels, a seat, some other assorted doodads, and one of the sweetest engines in motorcycling. I should know, I own a Yamaha Tenere 700, which uses the same motor. Essentially, this has become your current quintessential universal Japanese motorcycle. $7,700 US and $8,800 Canadian for all the motorcycle you need and won't outgrow anytime soon. What's new for 2021? It's a bit lighter than the previous model, Euro 5 compliant, 73 horses, 49 torques, LED lights, a cool MotoGP style exhaust, and that engine. Oh, that engine. Did I mention I love it? It's a 689cc parallel twin, yes, but Yamaha gave it that cross-plane 270-degree crank, making it snarl like a 90-degree V-twin. Like the SV or a Ducati, but without the length and extra complexity. The sound is a bit quiet and could further be improved by a slip-on like I have on my Tenere. Highly recommended. The head and exhaust system are simpler and lighter than on a V-twin, which makes the bike more compact. And this thing feels tiny, weighing 395 pounds wet. That's 300 class territory. The rider triangle is compact and suitable for me at 5'11 or 181 centimeters, but also comfortable for Brooke at 5'7 or 170 centimeters. The seat height is friendly, and the lightweight of this bike makes it easy to move around. The seat is decently comfortable, and if that isn't enough, Yamaha offers a touring saddle. Surprisingly, this was the most comfortable naked bike we've ever tried 2-up. The step in the saddle may account for that, separating the rider from the passenger and preventing crowding. Riding impressions? This motorcycle embodies what the class is all about. Fun. It rips around the twists, easily passes slower traffic on a 2-lane without a downshift, and will pretty much do whatever you need it to do. don't expect an ultra-sharp track weapon. The frame is not the stiffest, and the suspension, while perfectly adequate, does get a bit overwhelmed when hitting bumps in the corners. If you want stiff and race ready, the MT09 costs 2,000 more Canadian and will feel like that hard-edged sport bike you're looking for. But the MT07 is perfectly capable of holding its own against much sportier bikes as long as the road is twisty. And most of that ability it owes to its lightweight and awesome engine. What makes the engine brilliant is the instant torque and an aggressive reviness that allows the bike to squirt out of corners hard at almost any RPM. The motor feels much more powerful than specs suggest, and it's surprising how fast this bike can be whipped around the back roads. Certainly fast enough to get you into trouble. Novices will ask, is this a good bike for a beginner? While generally I recommend beginners start on something softer, this could be a good first motorcycle providing the beginner in question practices good throttle control. Brooke is not really a beginner anymore as she's been motorcycling for a couple of years, but she is still most comfortable on her 300. Despite that fact, she had no problem putting 500 kilometers on the MT and was never caught out by the power. However, she is a very careful rider. If your throttle control is not there yet, the low down torque of this bike may put you in the ditch. It should go without saying that wheelies are not difficult. Further details? The display is fine, though Brooke complained that it's too low down and she had to take her eyes off the road to check her speed. That's a result of this bike's small size. When you're up on the front part of the saddle, you don't really see much motorcycle in front of you. To me, that's a positive as it places more weight on the front tire for better traction and makes you feel like you're flying. But some riders prefer to feel like they're sitting in the motorcycle rather than on it. The brakes worked well without being too touchy at low speeds as superbike brakes tend to be. Shifting was crisp, although the lack of a slipper clutch does cause the occasional chirp from the rear tire when riding aggressively. You can't turn off the rear ABS, so that's the only chirping your rear tire will do on this bike. Weather protection? There is none. Let's get to the looks. The previous MT07's headlight was starting to look dated, but the new one is polarizing. The bike doesn't look terrible and would look better with a fly screen or windshield, but personally I'm a fan of a more classic round headlight look. If you are as well and you like the rest of the bike, you should take a look at the Yamaha XSR 700, which has the same engine and similar capability with a much more retro appearance. Be aware that that bike does have a much taller seat and feels larger when you're on it. How does the MT07 stack up to its competition? It's smaller and more nimble feeling than the SV650. Probably the bike that is closest to it is the Kawasaki Z650. I may be able to snag the Z for a week-long test, in which case I will bring you a comparison between the two. The Honda CB650R is heavier and more expensive and feels quite different, what with its inline 4. And the new Triumph Trident is out, but I haven't had a chance to try that out yet. That bike offers more features for a slightly higher price. So to sum up, the new MT07 is your quintessential universal Japanese motorcycle. All the performance and reliability with none of the frills at a reasonable price. Expect it to be plenty competent at a wide range of activities. It is extremely peppy, so beginners watch out, but that makes it a bike you won't outgrow. Honestly, if you don't want to go off-road, this could be your only motorcycle forever. And expect it to last forever because it's a Yamaha. When you look at the complete package, it's not surprising that the MT07 is a sales leader. Can the Triumph Trident give it a run for the #1 spot? Perhaps, but unlikely in my opinion. Yamaha's international reach is far greater than Triumph's. I'm definitely fond of the simplicity and peppy performance of this motorcycle. If you're shopping for one of these, you have plenty of choices, but you definitely can't go wrong with this one. It's got fun written all over it. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please support the channel if you find these vids valuable. Safe riding and happy adventures.
If you're interested in any of the gear that Brooke and I wear or use, or the camera equipment we use to film this channel, the links are below. Everything listed there was bought with our own money and we are not sponsored by any company. However, the links below are affiliate links and the channel is paid a small amount for referring you to shop at no additional cost to you. We do not recommend any products that we are not satisfied with ourselves, but we do strongly urge you to do your research and select the correct size for items like helmets and clothing. As always, thanks for watching, your support is greatly appreciated. Please hit that subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, and leave a comment below. And whatever you ride, enjoy it. Wave at other bikers no matter what they're riding. We're all part of a brotherhood and sisterhood. Keep the rubber side down, shiny side up, and may the spokes be with you.